Okay, we will see what is this DOM parser. It just go when concerned with respect to DOM parser, you are asked a question mostly theoretically. No question in terms of program is being asked. Okay, so you can just go through this. So when you consider a parser, this actually comes from a compiler design. While designing the compilers, you will be using parsers, and these parsers are used to parse the entire given code, even if it is a single line like variable declaration. Let us suppose int a is equal to b plus c. If that is the case, int a is equal to b plus c followed by semicolon. If that is the case, even this particular expression will be parsed by a parser within the compiler. Compiler consists of all these parsers, and when you parse this particular expression, it is divided into two parts, left side and right side. Yes or no? And all these parts consist of what? All variables, nothing but in your CD class, we consider them as terminals. Yes, terminals, non-terminals, expressions, all these things. So now our parser will convert the given expression into a parse tree such that it will have various terminals, a root node, and so on. So this generally the word parser comes from compilers. A parser is a particular module that reads and interprets the programming language. Yes, of course, not just the entire language, but each line of a language along with its uh, expressions, along with its operators, along with its syntactical errors, syntactical uh, rules like semicolon, etc., uppercase, lowercase letters, etc. All these things also will be considered in parser while constructing a parser. So if at all, if we consider about one of our web technologies, that is XML, extended markup language, a parser is a software component that sits in between the application and the extended markup language program. So this is a software. Obviously, a parser, which is a module within a compiler, is a software which sits between the application and the XML. So what it does is it reads the text formatted XML file, that means our XML program or stream expressions, and converts it into a document so that it can be manipulated by the application. So if at all, if you see the parser or DOM parser API with respect to XML, in XML we'll be basically using the DOM parser API. What happens is, if you look at this figure here, you're having an XML file, nothing but our XML code, okay, which will have its own specification, like how to write an XML code we have seen earlier. Again, we'll be seeing in our future classes also. So XML, this XML code is sent to the document builder of our DOM parser. This document builder of our DOM parser will consider these two things, that is error handling and entity resolving. And the XML file which is passed through this document builder, nothing but DOM parser, will convert it into a DOM tree, and it will convert it into a business logic, which is finally found at the end, business logic. So this document builder is available from where is the question. This document builder, nothing but our DOM parser API, is available from a document builder factory. So what happens here is, as soon as you get your XML file, that will be parsed via this DOM parser, and finally you will be getting it in terms of a business logic via DOM tree. This is what happens, because always a parser converts it into a parse tree. Okay, so DOM, when you consider our XML file, we have said that it is a software component that sits between a parser, will sit in between the application and the nothing but the business logic and the XML. Okay, so what happens with DOM parser is it will give you a standard tree structure where each node contains one of the components from an external structure. So you have an XML program. each statement in the XML program will be converted into a tree structure. So when it converts it into a tree structure, the things in the tree structure are considered as element nodes and text nodes. So these are the two types of nodes which are found in the tree structure formed by the DOM parser. So using these DOM functions, we can create nodes like this, element nodes, text nodes. We can remove some of those nodes, change their contents, and shift one node, shift the positions of the nodes also. Coming to the basic definition of DOM. This document object model, it is said to be an application programming interface, which is nothing but an API, which is used for HTML and XML documents. That is why when we have done our program using XML, like if you remember your lab programs, lab sessions, we have used DOM parser there, wherein you used code based on document builder factory. Document builder factory DC something is equal to document dot builder factory, such type of statement. When you use such type of statements, it means that you are using a DOM parser. What is the DOM parser passing? It is passing the XML file which is given by the user. This XML file, if you remember, we have written an XML file for creating users information, some 6 or 10 users information, and we try to retrieve the data. Yes or no? That is what all are manipulated using the DOM parser in our lab program. Okay, so what it performs is it defines the logical structure of documents and the way a document is accessed and manipulated. Obviously, whenever a DOM parser is converting it into a tree, it is converting them into nodes, and hence a logical structure is formed. So that depending upon the logical structure, you will understand how the parsing is going, whether it is in a bottom-up approach or top-down approach. Which type of approach is better in order to extract the information or convert the code into business logic. This is what happens using DOM. Okay, coming to the various properties of DOM, what you can do is they can build documents looking at their structure, navigating the entire structure. Next, they can add, as we have seen earlier, they will have different types of nodes. Those nodes can be added, modified, traversed, changed, swapped the positions, or deleted. So anything can be done. This is one of the basic property of DOM. Similarly, as we said, DOM, it's an application programming interface. As a result, it can be used in wide variety of environments and applications. Coming to DOM identifiers. So the interfaces and objects are used to represent and manipulate a document, and the semantics of this interface and are including both behavior and its attributes. The relationships and collaborations among these interfaces and objects are all identified using DOM parser. So what are all the interfaces available? Because you are writing a code, as a result, what are all the interfaces available, what are all the objects used, as well as what is the semantics that is used in order to create, in order to work on an interface. As well, interface is basically, if you remember your SC lab, interface is used to determine the behavior and attributes of structure. Both these things are comes under interfaces. Yes, so these the semantics of those interfaces can also be found, and the relationships and collaborations among all these interfaces and objects are also found. Are identified using DOM parser. So DOM parser is basically used working with XML like an object graph. Yeah, the trees like structure is called as an object graph in terms of DOM parser. Okay, if you normally consider CD language, you say it's a tree. It's a tree structure. Parser will parse the given expression into tree structure. This is what it says. And if you consider web technologies DOM parser, though it is same, it is called as an object graph. As a result, DOM parser is called as document object model because it is working on the XML document and creating an object graph. Hence, it is called as document object model. So, first of all, what it performs, the parser, what it does is it traverses the input XML file, which we have seen in the previous figure. It traverses the input XML file and creates the DOM objects. Creates DOM objects, nothing but various nodes. Okay, nothing but various nodes. We have seen various types of nodes. So the DOM parser, when it traverses the input XML file, that means when it converts into tree-like structure, nothing but object graph, the DOM objects, when when it creates all these things. So what it does is, yeah, the parser traverses the XML file and creates DOM objects. Okay, nothing but creating all the nodes. Now, these DOM objects are linked together in a tree-like structure. Once the parsing is done, we can get the data update and delete whichever data required. So, this is the thing. What happens? XML file is parsed after parsing the XML file where it is given file and creates a DOM objects. So these are all the, here you'll be getting the, by using this DOM parser, here you'll be getting tree, here you'll be getting various nodes. Those nodes are nothing but called as objects. So physically we call them nodes, but logically they are called as objects. So the number of nodes will be equal to the number of objects. Okay, that is what happens. And the DOM parser consists of error handler and entity resolver. If at all, if you have any errors in the expression, that is the reason why we are using a parser, in order to find errors like syntax and semantic errors. So those are all handled in the error handler part of a DOM parser. Any parser will have this error handler part and entity resolver part depending upon the semantics which you wanted to use. Is that clear? Next, we are saying that it is a tree-based parser. So what are all these tree-based parsers? So what happens is, when you say tree-based parsers, these will map an XML document into an internal tree structure and then allow an application to navigate via that tree. So that what will happen, you can either use, the parser will either use a top-down or a bottom-up approach here. That depends even on the priority also in some cases. So this particular thing is basically used only for certain browsers, editors, and XML parsers. So this is how the tree-based structure looks like. This is how the tree-based structure looks like. See, you'll have, let us suppose this is the first thing. First, this entire thing is in terms of XML file, let us suppose. These XML files expressions are converted into these things. And then they are forming various branches and nodes connected by various nodes. And these nodes are nothing but called as objects. So this is called as the tree-based parser, is called as the building the tree of objects. Okay. And now parser depends on the compiler we are saying, and the compiler depends on the type of programming language we will use. Okay, if you say it is C, if you go to earlier days, you will be using Turbo C compiler. Recently, you are using GCC. If you say Java, you will be using Java C, Java compiler. So each parser, as it depends on the compiler that is being used, so it changes according to the type of the language you are using. So what we have to see is, now we have to see regarding the parser, which is related to our Java code here, which is related to our Java code, because we are saying that we are considering the nodes of all the trees, nodes of various nodes of all the trees as objects. When you say objects, it means that you are using, and you say objects, it means that you are using object-oriented programming language. One of our familiar language is Java. So what happens is Java application programming interface will consist of this DOM parser. Will consist of DOM parser, which will be used for processing. Okay, so which will it take? And it will be taking the XML file. So what is this? DOM is part of the Java API for XML processing. In such a case, it is called as JAXP. Nothing but Java XML processing is nothing but DOM here. Java DOM is called as JAXP. So when Java DOM parser traverses the XML file and creates corresponding DOM objects, these DOM objects are linked together in a tree structure, nothing but like this in terms of nodes. That is what we have seen. These nodes are all called as objects. This is what we have seen in the previous slide. So all those are linked together in the form of a tree structure. The parser reads the whole XML structure into the memory and then traverses the code. So a DOM parser comes with the Java development kit because we are using Java DOM here, so it comes with JDK. So there is no need to download a dependency, and you need not have a separate DOM parser to be downloaded. Okay. Next, while working out with the code of DOM parser, you should import these three things. That is, first thing is org.w3c.dom.star. W3C is our World Wide Web Consortium, and which is much useful in our XML always. This is the consortium which is accepted globally by the World Wide Web. That is why even while writing your XML programs, you will have w3c dot this same thing, org.w3c dot something. Here we are using DOM parser, that is why we are taking DOM here. Okay, so whenever XML files are being written, our programming language will start with org.w3c.dom. Similarly, you have another package which has to be imported, which belongs to DOM parser, is javax.xml.parses.star. And obviously java.io.star. These are the three packages which are to be imported while writing a program. And one more thing which you should do while writing, while using a DOM parser is this thing, that is creating the document builder. This is the what happened. Okay. So these are the statements that has to be written while writing or while using a DOM parser in our program. That is document builder factory space factory object, which is equal to document builder factory dot new instant. This is the statement which has to be used, and in our program also we had used the same thing. That is, this particular statement is used. So whenever you find this statement, we say that there is a DOM parser. A DOM parser is working on the file. Okay. So what this document builder factory does, what it does is, it enables applications to obtain a parser that produces DOM objective. What will it do? Document builder factory, what will it do? It will, the parser whichever is there, that will produce DOM object trees from the XML documents. We are saying that always DOM parser will convert the given code into tree structure, right? How that is done? That is done by using this particular statement, document builder factory, and you are creating a new instance, new object for it. Okay, document builder factory. For that class, you are creating an object, and using that object, you'll try to instantiate the DOM parser. Okay, to build this object graph, object tree. Okay, and there is one more statement called this statement. What happens here is, earlier we used document builder factory. Now the other one is document builder. What this does, this document builder defines the API, Java API, to obtain DOM document instances from an XML document or to create a new DOM document. Where is DOM? This document builder, that is below the, if you remember the figure, that is below. See, this is from the XML document. This document builder will take the data. This document builder factory is responsible to create an object tree which is available in the document builder. What is available in the document builder? XML file is available in the document builder. This will determine it to convert it into tree, and as a result it will give the output as a DOM tree. Okay, so document builder factory will tell this document which is taken into the document builder to convert it into a factory, to convert it into object tree. It will convert, and its output is this one. This is what is given to the business logic. That is what happens using these two statements. So these are also document builder factory or document builder, both are all APIs which are used to, one is used to take the data from the XML document, and the other one is used for parsing the objects, take the data and then converting it into object graph. This is what happens. Next, document. These are various things which we should go through in this DOM. That is document traversal. These contains methods that creates iterators to traverse a node and its children. Document traversal is nothing but it will contain the methods that will create iterators to traverse a node and its children, to go through all the nodes and its children. That is called as document traversal. For that purpose, you'll have various methods. Next, it is node filter, which is used to filter all nodes. Node iterator is used to go through a set of nodes. Tree walker is used to navigate through the entire document tree, our object tree or subtree. Okay, so these are various things which are used, and this is the description for all those things. What is that? Attribute. ATTR determines an attribute in an element object. See data section. See data section escapes blocks of text containing characters that would otherwise be regarded as markup. You have two things if you remember, C data and PC data. Character data and the other one is PC data. Okay, those two things. What happens in this character data section? This will escape blocks of text containing characters that would otherwise be regarded as markup. Coming to, if you wanted to say the document consists of markup, then you're using the C data. Coming to comment, normally it represents the content of a comment. If you say document, represents the entire HTML or XML document. Document fragment, a lightweight or minimal document object used to represent. Document fragment is nothing but part of the entire document. Represent portions. That is why it is saying portions of an XML document, which is just larger than a single node. If it is at the size of a single node, we will say it's node instead of fragment. Fragment is something which is more than, greater than single node. And the other one is element. Element nodes are nothing but the basic branches of the DOM tree. Like you'll have element nodes. Next it is the child nodes. When we go further inside the tree, from the root towards the end of the tree, leaf nodes. So these are the element nodes, basic branches of DOM tree. The other one is a node, normally a node, which is nothing but it represents the primary data type for the entire DOM and each of its elements. Okay, and node list consists of an ordered collections of all nodes. Node list consists of an ordered collection of all nodes. You'll have many nodes because our parser is converting the document, XML document, into various number of nodes. Because our XML document consists of lots of data from tags, all these things. So all these things will be converted into n number of nodes. Node list is something like a data structure which will consist of, which has ordered collection of all these nodes. Okay. Next, text represents the textual content which is available called character data in XML of an element or attribute. Attribute represents an attribute in an element object. Element is nothing but which starts from the beginning of your object, beginning of your tree object to tree graph. This is clear. So this is what happens in your DOM tree. Next, create a document object from XML file. What you do is you will be writing the code like this. Read the XML file to document object. Document is equal to builder.parser. Extract the root element. How do you do that? Document.get document element. Examine attributes. Element.get attributes. In order to set attribute, you'll write a element.set attributes. All these things are used in order to retrieve the data from the XML file. So this is how and what the DOM parser is and how it works. So when you have and when a question is asked regarding DOM parser, first thing is this particular definition. The first slide, the second slide, and when you are asked with the definition, this DOM parser API is must. After this particular slide, you should describe the description regarding these things. Create document builder. After drawing that, you should write about these things. Why document builder factory is used and why document builder is used. Write the description and write these statements. Write this part of code to determine how the objects are created from an XML document and how the XML file is converted into DOM tree. Okay, write these two lines of code. Next, write about this. Depends upon the marks. If the question is asked only for 2 marks or 3 marks, these 3 slides are enough. 3 slides, nothing but that figure. Okay, this definition here, figure there, and this create document builder. The definition regarding this and these statements. But this question will not be asked for 2 marks. If it is asked for 15 marks, you have lab program, right? You should write that lab program, taking an XML file as an output and writing the code which is related to that file, which consisted of these things. What are they? Document builder factory and document builder these instances. Okay, considering these things, you should write a program. Okay, 1 second, let me take. This is how you should represent in your examination. This will not be asked for sure. This will not be asked for what do we call 2 marks or 3 marks. 3 marks. No, this will be asked 8 marks for 8 marks for 10 marks, something like that. If it is asked for 8 marks also, better write the program. Write these lines of code, write the program. If it is asked for 8 marks, make the program, make the XML file smaller and write these lines of code. Okay, and these things. Explain about these things. Create document object from XML file. I'll be sending this PPT to CR, whoever it is. Okay, Ruhina or Sairam. This is what happens with your DOM parser. And very important question. No doubt, very important question. Okay, I hope everyone is clear. This question is from 3rd unit. So, revision of this particular thing is over. Hope you people are writing assignment and you don't have any problem in uploading in what do we call? In reference globe. Okay, if there are any problems, please revert me back immediately. Okay. Okay. Last 5 minutes. Any doubts? Anybody? Any information you wanted to know? Nothing? Okay, shall we close the session?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Guys, thank you. Okay, I'm ending the meeting. Okay.